You know, I found a new technique to shave my head. Getting that nice smooth bald with the Gillette. I really feel like I'm old now. I might be in these Masters races soon. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm not that old. But yes, we are here in Lee Valley Athletics Centre with the first Bftta meet of the year. Like Rich said, this first heat is going to consist mainly of Masters athletes. It's good to see how we get off, and they're off in this first race.
That looks like Kirstin King.
And we have started the day with exactly what you want to see. A little bit of action.
Great action.
A little bit of tension. You know, you got athletes that get out to 50 metres quite well and, you know, maybe get pipped to the last 10 metres. And that's really the essence of the 60 metres. Do you remember much about your 60 from your competing times?
No, of course. You know, it's just about getting off to a good start, getting into your running. It usually comes at you a lot faster than expected. I think was that Leanne Wellings there might have just pipped that one on the line, but that happens a lot in the 60, especially at this time of season, very early. So adjusting to the distance.
For sure. I think
we'll see who got that. Was it Kirstin King? Was it Leanne Wellings? Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna have to apologise in advance because there seems to be a little bit of a delay with the live results, and we don't have them to hand. So we're just gonna have to wait with bated breath, much like you guys. But the times are really, like Rich was alluding to, the times are really not the most important thing at this time of year. I think it's great if you run a fast time on the 7th of January. Or what's the date today, sorry?
The 8th.
The 8th of January. See, look at me living in the past, you know the ones. But it's never the aim. I think the aim is always to build throughout the season. It's nice to get a good, solid start to your season.
For sure. Most athletes, as you said, this will be their first meet of the season. So, you know, it's just about getting out there and really just getting your legs going, adjusting to the distance. Great race there. Leanne Wellings did take that one on the line, very close, only about 300ths in it.
Yeah, that would be 8.68 for the winner, and second place was 8.71. So very close, very, very close.
Okay, so, you know, as we always say, we love to see the contrast in athletes at these Bftta Opens. And, you know, we're going from a race mostly contested by Masters athletes now to probably some of the youngest athletes we'll see on the track today, under 11 girls. So these athletes are between 9 and 10 years old?
Yeah, I believe so. Again, every time we come to these events, I'm always in awe. Okay, people want to shout in Lee Valley, that's fine. I'm always in awe of athletes that start so young. And I was listening to an episode of Young Fire Old Flame, which is the BBC Sounds show, where we had two of our premier athletes, Dwayne Chambers, DC, the GOAT, and Nathaniel Mitchell-Blake, NMB, just speaking about their experiences. And DC noted that he started athletics when he's about 14 years old. So, you know, rating when you're about 9, 10 is fantastic.
Yeah, for sure, very early. Some of these athletes, this is probably maybe their first or second year of competing, maybe even their first race. So, you know, this is great experience. Lee Valley is a great place to run as well, especially at this age. Okay, fairly even to begin with, but it looks like Dami.
Yep, that's Dami Adekunle taking the win there. Look, sometimes obviously, for context, I am 5'6", right? And I'm seeing some of these kids, I'm like, you are taller than me. How are you under 11? You're taller than me. Like, it's amazing. And I think at this age, I think the physical differences in just amongst your competitors really do stand out, because you saw from about 30 meters, Dami just opened that long stride, ran away with this, quite literally.
Yeah, and it's always interesting to see, you know, especially at that age, the development's always different. Some people may have just started training yesterday. Some people may be training not at all. They may just do another sport and just go down to their local meet and compete. So, you know, it's always interesting to see and to hear the differences in how athletes are progressing and starting, especially at such a young age. You know, that's still primary school. Most of most of us probably start competing in secondary school after sports days and indoor sports hall. Did you do that? Did you do sports hall?
No, I didn't do sports hall. I don't know. I think my school was too ghetto for that.
Definitely not if my school was doing it.
No, I didn't do it, but I think those things are fantastic. They do give people a bit of, a taster day, as it were, into what you can get out of the sport.
Okay.
I think it's great if they're doing it alongside other sports as well.
For sure.
I do believe that, until a certain age, you should really just do everything as much as you can.
I agree. So this is under 13 girls predominantly in this heat. Very close. See how this one goes. So again, the Shaftesbury athlete there.
Yeah, Adekunle looking very, very solid out of the blocks. Was run down a little bit by Heidi Watson at the end, but that's a very solid race. Very, very solid race. And we would be remiss if we didn't speak about the new look for Lee Valley Athletics.
Oh, yeah,
I've been at Lee Valley for a couple of years. I've been I first came to Lee Valley maybe in like 2009.
Wow.
And I know I'm showing my age a little bit. Showing my age. And I haven't seen this place look this vibrant in a very long time. What do you think of the new look Lee Valley?
Yeah, I like it. Lee Valley's had a BBL. Not botched. Looks great. I know that they've sorted out some of the issues on the turns. And yeah, well, it'll be good to see, some of the performances. We got some big names coming up later. So it will be good to see how they get on and how they feel about the surface as well.
Yes, for sure. Most definitely not a botched BBL. This was not a rush job in Turkey. This was a labour of love, as it were.
So into Heat 4 now. All under 15 girls. So under 15s, that's between 13 and 14.
14? 14? Sorry.
So that's years 8? Is it 8?
8 and 9.
8 and 9.
Yeah, 8 and 9.
8 and 9.
Yeah. I think this is where, when you're in school, if you've been, if you were introduced to athletics in secondary school like most people, these are the kind of years where you're like, okay, I actually really like this. It's not just a way for me to get out of science class in period 5. This is a thing I really want to do. I want to take it a little bit more seriously.
Also, the first age group that you qualify for English schools.
English school, and that's what I was about to
national
allude to.
championships as well. So
He gets it. This is obviously a former English schools athlete talking. Reshma Miller, been to a couple English schools.
not a winner though.
Not a winner, but that's all right. You're a winner in my eyes.
I'm next to a winner, and that's the difference. So they're underway.
That's a
This
fantastic
is a very
run.
good run.
I'm a bit concerned. I'm not seeing the clock do what I need the clock to be doing.
Yeah, the clock's kind of leaving us guessing here. But great run from gun to Tate, really, there from Elizabeth. S Factor Academy. A setup I've been seeing the name of over the years for a long time.
I think that's a really cool name. Why don't we
It
have a
is,
cool name
it
like
is.
that?
Well, the narrative isn't good enough for you?
The narrative is
No?
cool. The narrative is cool.
It's cool. We can be N speakers.
You say N speakers.
N speakers.
Maybe we keep the narrative. Maybe we keep the narrative.
Okay, so we're moving into the 5th heat now. Still a lot of under 15 girls mixed in with a few under 17s. Speaking of S Factor, I think it's good to also see an athlete from Dwayne Chambers Sprint Club as well. Of course, we are here at a Bftta meet, so nice to see some of the modern clubs also in the mix with some of the heritage clubs, I'll call them.
Football heritage. This is football heritage. race 5 of 13 in the women's races.
And they're off. Very closely contested race. It looks like maybe Ivana.
Maybe. I'm giving that to Ivana Eze from up here. Yeah. For context, I don't know if you've been to Lee Valley before, if you're listening to this, but we are at the top where we're
in the box seats.
Yeah, we're in the box seats in Lee Valley where we've got a multitude of beams and pillars to navigate. And we don't have X-ray vision as much as we sound fantastic. So it's a bit difficult to see the whole race, but we can see what we can.
Very close race. At you know, under 15s, under 17s, very important age to get out there and, you know, race other athletes. I remember actually myself as an under 17 one day at Lee Valley racing, you know, some of the top athletes in the country at the time. You know, there was this guy called Ruben Alpha, and, you know, absolutely obliterated me, but it showed me, you know, what was possible, and definitely gave me that drive to move on and take my training more serious and, you know, get to the next level. So sometimes you come out here, you might not have the day you want to have, but you have the day you need to have.
Yeah.
Amen.
No, amen, amen, amen. Click, 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 click. I think it's very important. I think it's probably the most important thing about open meets is the fact that you are rubbing shoulders with anyone. If you are of a similar time, if you are of a similar ability, you race. That's what it is. You're not always protected by the age group. You're not always protected by, you know, being comfortable being a big fish in a small pond, or just being a fish in your own pond. Sometimes you have to go out into the oceans. You got to go out into the sewage tanks. You got to go out into, you know, the Atlantic, Bermuda Triangle, all of that. You have to just go and race against anyone and see what it gives you. Because like Rechmal said, it oftentimes gives you what you need rather than what it is you think you want. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with getting what you need. 880 the time's been rounded down to. Oof. We're getting quick. We like that. I like that.
Okay, so we move on to Heat 6 now. All under 17 women in this one. See an athlete from my club, Hercules Wimbledon. Charlotte Gurney. Shout out to her. Herc way or no way?
Herc way or no way.
There's a lot of action actually going on in the world of 60 metres today. We've got 3 meets on. Obviously, Bftta being the premier meet.
Yeah, tell us where the other 2 events are occurring.
It's not worth mentioning.
And we have our first false start of the day.
Slight
Yay.
twitch there.
Yay.
See, now it's interesting. I believe that was Isabella Banks, but I'm not sure what the rules are here. If you don't leave the block, sometimes you're not disqualified. So we may, you know, hopefully the starters are kind enough to give us a faulty start here, because I don't think she actually left the block. But we'll see how that goes. Okay, and it's a yellow card, so just a warning.
And like I say this all the time when it happens, but that's what you want, really. Like, especially when you're dealing with an open meet situation. Yes, we understand that this needs to be preparation for, you know, how the sport goes going forward. And if you get to the upper levels, you won't get this grace. But let's be real, man, are paying. Like,
no, but it depends. Sometimes you do. That's what I'm saying. If you don't leave the block, I have seen championships where, you know, it depends on what mood the start is in.
It does depend on the mood.
It depends on the mood of the start.
Pray you don't get them Bedford starters, innit?
Oh gosh. And we're off. Very close race here.
This is a very, very close race. That is a tight finish.
Very close. Are you brave enough to call that?
No, I'm not. I am very, very shook. I'm not brave at all. But I think in that race, I guess from this angle, it's going to be different to what happened in real time. But
for sure.
We saw 2 very different styles of running a 60-meter racer. You see someone get out at 30 and someone else build their race up. Oh, we're joined by Well, it's
Joined
Sean
by
entry.
Sean Sappho and
It's a
Tweet.
saying.
Ghana's finest.
For the live stream, Sean. How are you today?
It's live right now.
Top 5 people I've ever trained with.
Start talking, boy.
How are you today, man?
World indoor finalist. 2-time Olympian.
World champs finalist.
Exactly, what is that?
This is an unsigned tracksuit. This is from Lorraine Eugen. Yeah, it's alright. So come feel it. It's good cotton.
Unsigned clothing. Shout out to Lorraine
Yeah, like
Egan.
that. I'm saying though. Yeah, chat to her, fam. I know you got your 2 calculators. So
Oh, what? That's
Lorraine.
good material.
I'm telling you. Shout out to Lorraine every time. Unsigned tracksuit. Whenever I come to do one of these meets, I always try and wear some merch from someone that is doing something within the athletics community. So today I'm currently wearing my unsigned athletics tracksuit.
But it's on the website.
It's a teal green tracksuit. It's very, very nice, good cotton. If you want to see it, go on the my story, go on Bftta story, go on narrative story. You can see it in person. But yeah,
Live in the
Sean
flesh.
is smitten with this tracksuit, man. I don't keep feeling up my hood.
Give us a follow while you're there on the narrative at the narrative pod. Will we be back soon? Who knows? Who knows?
It's a live stream, did it?
So if we sound distracted, we're joined by Sean Sappho and Tweet, who's demanding to see the start list for the men's 60 meters. We
Sean's
do
not even
have
competing today. He just came to watch.
OJ Adekunle in
competing?
that one.
Yeah, look at you.
We do have Joel Pascal in that one.
Yeah, James Hansen.
Is Richard in that one?
Sean Aiken, sorry. Richard might not be in. Richard is the one
Okay.
before, I believe.
James Hansen, I'm actually very excited to see
I'm always excited to see James
Um,
Hansen, man.
how James runs in that one. So yeah, we do have some big races ahead, and I have been distracted, and I do need to get the start list back up.
Yeah, it's poor from you.
Has competition been so far? When you're in again?
Probably next month, if maybe. You need to train, man.